Bryan Carman and Paul Ahnert.
Hey, happy Sunday night and welcome to the Road to Less Travel, episode 53. We are excited to be here with Gordon Tittsworth of Images of Eden. Hey, Bryan, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Gordon,
I got a
welcome.
different background
Thanks
today.
for joining us tonight.
Oh, man, appreciate it. Thank you, both of you guys, for having me. Nice Sunday night, man.
Yeah.
It's always, what better thing to do than on a Sunday night than to be on a podcast, man. So
that's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, to have fellowship with brothers in the Lord and talk about music and Jesus. I mean, what else is better than that?
Exactly, man. You know it, man.
All right, so we kick off the show each week with sharing some music. Bryan, you've got some music to share tonight?
Yeah, but I didn't have time because of what I was doing just before the show that I didn't think was going to happen, but I'll tell you what I've been listening to.
All right, we're all ears.
I've been watching videos of Gordon's band, obviously, and I think you guys did a great job on that Triumph song.
Oh, yeah. Fight the good fight, man. Appreciate it.
That one guy that had your he's got the glasses and he always goes when he's watching it. I can't remember.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
He's like, this one's not familiar. I'm like, how do you not know the one Triumph song that everybody's heard?
Exactly. Yeah.
Fight the good fight every moment. How do you not know that song?
Oh, man. Exactly. I mean, I've loved that song for decades.
So, oh, yeah.
Yeah. When Steve said,
it has a touch of biblical stuff in it, too, because you can actually learn something from that song.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got to switch the part about trusting your heart. But if you're a Christian, then you trust your new heart. You can play it that way.
Exactly, man. Yep, you know it.
Yeah, so I've been checking out your guys' music, Images of Eden, and I've been jamming Ex-Sinner since we had the interview the other week. And I've been listening to the Get It CD. Man, that's good. And now, when I listen to them, I'm not thinking AC/DC and Def Leppard only. I'm thinking, now I know what Ex-Sinner sounds like. And their songs are really good, actually. So, and then the other one is I'm always at least listening to my We Are Resolute. So that's what I've been listening to.
Well, I've been listening to 3 Days Under this week. A good hard rocking band. Don't know they got one song on here that deals with addiction, overcoming addiction. It really just resonates. Really great song. I encourage you to check them out. Listening to 7 Days. They're kind of a more melodic metal, new metal maybe sound, but excellent lyrically and spiritually nonetheless. And going back in time a little bit, 1991 with Dreamer and Full Metal Racket, just some really good loud metal, hair metal style, or 80s metal. So if you haven't checked these guys out, check them out. Gordon, you've been listening to anything this week?
You know, it's weird, man. You told me this question was coming, and I got to tell you, this is like the one time where I can say it's crickets, because we're actually neck deep in the middle of recording, and whenever we have the gas mashed on an album recording, I usually don't listen to anything. I shut everything out just to kind of, try to focus, because if I listen to something like, ooh, I like that sound, let me try to tailor this to kind of do something like that. I want to try to keep an open mind, so I don't want to listen to much. So mainly I've been just combing over and over and over all the songs that we're working on, and just listening to the parts and making notes. So, okay, gotta work on that part right there, or work on this part or something like that. But occasionally I have had the opportunity to check something else out. When we were on tour a couple months ago, I mean, I was all over the map. I mean, it's funny, like right now, I'm listening to Dissonance Theory by Coroner. Coroner is like the Rush of thrash metal. It's a band that I listened to a long time ago. Haven't heard them in about 30 years, and I heard they had a new album out, and it's just super tight thrash. Other than that, it's kind of funny. I got into a big Beatles kick after we did the Here Comes the Sun cover. I was listening to Revolver and Pepper, two albums I absolutely love. I grew up with the Beatles, but my mom was more into like the mop top Beatles, which, hey, that's all good. But I mean, I think Rubber Soul, uh, especially Revolver, Pepper, Abbey Road, White Album. I mean, it's just some really good stuff. But yeah, I mean, just right now, I'm just so focused on recording. I've just kind of shut the world out. But yeah, that's my long-winded answer.
That's
All
good.
good stuff, man. And Pepper, I mean, revolutionized music with Sergeant Pepper. So
And then that's the thing. I thought about Revolver too. I was like, that was 1966, and that album was the most. I mean, trailblazing album of that time, and that just kind of shifted production and the way things happened in a studio. And it was just absolutely amazing. If you really dig into that album and the things that they did on that album that had never been done. Between that and then you got Brian Wilson with Pet Sounds. But just going back, I mean, just they're the true innovators back then.
So they must have done that in honor of my birth then, because I was born in 1966.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. Good year for music.
Hey Paul, what's going on with this extra little thing? That's new, isn't it?
you can turn that off. I'm on your side.
Well, I've just never seen it before.
Vertical column, yeah. So technical behind the scenes stuff. StreamYard's allowing us to broadcast in two aspect ratios.
Cool.
So what's going on to YouTube is a little different than what's going on to Facebook. And so that's why what you see, Bryan, is a little different than what everybody else is seeing. So, but you can turn that second aspect ratio off. All right. So, Gordon, so cool that you're here with us. Tell us a little bit about Images of Eden. Tell us about what you guys got going on right now, cooking up, and what you've been doing this year.
Yeah. Oh man, it's been a crazy year. We've actually we started quite a while ago writing for this album, but all kinds of stuff kind of got in the way. Good stuff too. I mean, it's funny. It's like we said, okay, we're gonna not do anything. We're not going out on the road. We're just gonna prioritize this next album. So we start diving in. Oops, we're going to Europe with Soil. Okay, pause. Let's roll. Or before that, we went to Mexico, so we had to pause and then changed guitar players. Jeffrey Wilson came on board, which was one of the best things that's happened to us in a long time. Then we went on tour with Soil, but first we had to stop to do the Here Comes the Sun. So it's just like a lot of things. We had to pause and unpause, pause and then unpause, many times. And then, but as far as this year goes, we actually did a short stint. We called our 2025 hometown tour, which was our first headlining gig. And we didn't want to dive in and do a full-blown 20-date U.S. tour since it's only our first headlining gig. We want to kind of dip our toe in the water just to see how things are going to go first, and then we kind of gauge what we're going to do based on that success. And it went exactly as I had expected and hoped. So at least, we're kind of where we want to be going forward. But ever since we got home from that, we just dove into this album. And so that's where we are right now. I mean, everybody's kind of firing on all cylinders. And the way that we do this is a little unconventional because I live in York, Pennsylvania. Our guitarist lives in Baltimore, actually Annapolis, Maryland. Bass player lives in Traverse City, Michigan, and the drummer lives in Phoenix, Arizona. So people are like, well, how do you rehearse? How do you that? Well, rehearsal's great because we all go into our home studios. We open up our recording sessions. We mute our part and we just play along, and that's rehearsal. So then before we go out on tour or something, we fly out to Phoenix. We get in the same room and we just kind of put the puzzle pieces together, go through the set a couple times and hit the road. So when we actually do the recording, I'll kind of do the initial writing of the song. I'll create the shell, just sort of like the guitar parts, the demo drums, demo vocals, just to kind of get everything kind of moving along. And once it's where we want it to be, I will, our drummer, Steve Dorsum, actually starts the process. Well, I'll send him files and he'll track all the drums for the song. He'll send me his drum track. I track the rhythm guitar and any acoustic guitar. And then when that's done, we send it to Jeffrey Wilson, who does all the lead guitar, and then to Eric Mulvane to do all the bass. And while everybody's doing their thing, I'm kind of tracking the official vocal tracks. So it's kind of like, okay, the project's going down the conveyor belt and everybody puts their piece on the widget, So then when it's at the end of the conveyor belt, we're good to go. Right now, I'm going to have to do a little delay before I do the vocals. I've got something happening in December that's going to put me out of commission for a couple weeks. Get into that later. But yeah, we're going to try to get all the music done, hopefully by the end of the year. I mean, as far as this album, I mean, we learn with every album. I mean, I think any band, any musician will tell you, with every album, you should be growing. You shouldn't be stagnant. I mean, myself personally, I always try to push myself to do better than I did before. And I feel like if I'm not improving, then something's wrong. I really need to push harder. And I always feel like whatever I'm doing now should one up the last one. And if it's not, stop. And this album is no different. I feel so good about this one. This is also our first album without Dean Harris, our keyboard player. Yeah, we parted ways with him, but I will say this: it was nothing personal whatsoever. It was just our music is evolving into more of a straightforward heavy or a straightforward metal sound with minimal keyboards. And back in the day, we were more prog metal and did a lot of keyboard oriented stuff. But now it's just it's more straightforward metal. And we're sorry to part ways. He is an absolute class act, phenomenal player, phenomenal person, amazing to tour with. I mean, you couldn't have a better musician in your band. But yeah, we're doing this as a 4-piece, and that's where we are as of today. So yeah, I think after the turn of the year, sometime I'm going to start doing the official vocals, and after that, we'll, it'll go to mixing, mastering. Then we'll start talking about shooting a video and do a release date. So, but I have to say, this one is, this one feels really special. All of them do, but this one just a little more so. So I told you I was long-winded there.
Well, no, that's fine.
That's what we love. We love a guest.
Oh, I can bring it. Don't worry.
And talk.
Gordon, you're talking about all the process, and we've talked about it with other guests also. And because I'm with We Are Resolute with Dale Thompson as our singer,
yeah,
we've worked with other people like you said, so I know that production line kind of thing.
Yeah,
we generally start with rhythm guitar.
Okay.
And I do all the vocals just as temporary, so we know where we're at. And then we start adding other pieces. Like we have Jason Beavers is going to be doing bass on our new album. And so he just sent something, and Dale just did a vocal. So we have one song that's already almost ready. So it's really cool because everybody lives in different states. And like you said, and I just think that the fans do find that interesting. And so I'm glad you brought that up.
I'm glad you said something because our 2018 album, Soul Rise, we at the time I'd never met our bass player Eric. Steve Dorsum and I came from another band. Well, he had a band called Born to Fire. He pulled me in to do the vocals on their album. We worked so well together. I said, Steve, you've got to join Images of Eden, man. You're just perfect. And so I sent him the demo to Soul Rise, and he's like, okay, that's it. This is where we are. All of our eggs are going in this basket. And we went through a lineup change with our guitar player and our bass player for Soul Rise. I'd never met Eric Mulvane or our guitar player, Carlos Urquidy, until the album was almost completely mixed. We all met up in Phoenix to shoot a video for Shield Me. We're at the airport. I'm like, what's up, man? Nice to meet you. You're a lot taller than I expected. It's just because it's so cool, man. I've told people this before. Technology has done really good things for us, but it has also created a massive sea, and it's hard to kind of stand out, and you with everything that's out there. So take the good with the bad. I really wouldn't change anything for the world, but it's definitely fun because I've actually done some vocals for hire for a couple of bands in different countries, and I'm just going to take this little side thing. I was approached in 2009 maybe um, by a by a musician who was working on a project, Charlemagne, The Omens of Death. And Charlemagne, the character, it's a concept album about the life of Charlemagne. Christopher Lee, the actor, played Charlemagne. And so they brought me in as another character for this one song. And I did my parts while Christopher Lee was in New Zealand filming The Hobbit.
Oh, wow.
And so I sent them the vocals, vocal track. And then when he got done filming The Hobbit, he came back to the UK and he's got everything and he's doing his parts over top of mine because he's got to go along with me. And I'm just thinking, man, Sir Christopher Lee got to hear me. I've never met the man, but we're on a song together. And it's just the coolness of using the internet to our advantage.
Definitely. We wouldn't be able to do what we're doing without it. So.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. It's a little bit of a hike to get to Phoenix for band practice. So.
Yeah, we've never been able to meet Dale or Troy or Rex Carroll or Michael Fian. Well, I met Michael Fian at what now is called Immortal Fest.
Yeah.
But but Dale and I are good friends, and we've been friends for over 5 years now.
That's great.
Yeah, it is. And we've talked on the phone and did video conference like this, and we've interviewed him. So yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. Hey, you want to hit the comments real quick?
Yeah, sure. All right. So let's see. We've got
Rob
Lowe's on.
Buddy?
Says, hi, brother.
Yeah.
Hey, Rob.
Good to see you, bro.
And
Hey, Pat.
Pat's here. Pat's hello, Pat. Good to have you. And let's see. And let me see if I can get this one on here. Okay, so Rob, we're having he had Dreamer on cassette. So yeah, excellent album. And there's that. All right. So so the new album's coming out, and you talked about you mentioned kind of prog metal. So if our listeners haven't heard you before, how would you characterize your music, and then maybe talk about the difference in style of the new album a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. We've kind of gone through an evolution. I mean, next year will be the 25th anniversary of our first album. The first album was basically me doing everything with a session drummer. I long story short, I could go for hours. In 1997, I almost died from alcohol addiction. I got really bad. I was drinking in the mornings, shaking like a leaf every day. Finally, one day I said, I don't care what happens. Today is the very last day. This will never happen again. Ended up in the hospital with full-blown alcohol detox. Blood pressure was 213 over 186. The doctor said if I hadn't come in, I would have been dead in 24 hours or perhaps much sooner. I mean, anything could have happened at any given time. So literally I got there in the nick of time. They saved me. And when I was in the hospital bed, I heard in my head the most vivid message. I can't even put it into words. He said, I'm taking this addiction away from you and you will never have to deal with it again. Wow. You're never going to have to lie anymore or cover anything up anymore. Your life starts over today. And every weight I had that had built for years just fell off. And I knew who that was. And 2.5 days later, I left the hospital. No DTs, no crazy detox. It's like it was all extracted. I should have been in that hospital for a very long time, as bad off as I was. But when I got out of there and was able to shake it off, I felt, for lack of a better word, extremely compelled to get this message out, to do this band, to create this band called Images of Eden. And one of the best things I had done in my early years as a musician was to learn all the instruments. I started off on guitar, I learned bass, always had a fascination with drums, so I kind of gravitated to that a little bit. And then in high school, I started to learn how to sing because we couldn't find a singer. And so, okay, hey, that all worked out later on. And then I kind of taught myself keyboards for the bare minimum. So when it came down to doing this debut album, I went into the studio. A friend of mine he just laid down the drums for me just to kind of give me a jump start, and I did everything else: guitar, bass, keyboards, all the vocals. Use that to kind of start, or use that to kind of form the first incarnation of the band. And we changed a little bit over the years, but I think the bulk of our stuff after we reformed in 2018 and rebranded, we released 3 albums: Soul Rise, Angel Born, and Weathered and Torn, which is an EP. Those are the ones that really show our style kind of as we are today. The best way I can kind of describe us is, I would say because I write on a 7-string and I drop the 7th, the low B to an A. So it's super low chunk, but it's still uplifting sounding. I keep it low end and heavy, but it's still you can hear a very positive overtone. I would say take like, Iron Maiden and inject some serious steroids in them, splash a little Dream Theater in there, a little bit. And yeah, you would very uplifting lyrics. That's how I would probably say, kind of say how we are. As far as the new album, there's not as much keyboard there. If you listen to our other 3, you'll notice a lot of layering because we have a tendency to get pretty theatrical. There'll be multiple guitar layers, multiple keyboard layers, multiple vocal layers. This one is a little more stripped down and just in your face, but it's still the same songwriting. We try to throw a little bit of technical ability in there, but with a hook and that earworm that'll stick in your head when you wake up the next morning. So we'll hopefully take you on a ride. And then when the chorus comes in, you're like, and then you're singing along with it. So, yeah, that's where we are. And we try to write the most passionate and emotional album. If the hair stands up on your arms or you get teary-eyed because you've listened to anything we've done, that's where we want to be, man. So hopefully that translates that way. So we'll see.
So on your first album, did you only do like single takes on guitars? Because that's what we did, and people were saying that we sounded like we were a live, raw band on our first album.
Okay.
But then learning from Dale he sends like 9 layers of vocals, and we're like, what are we going to do with this? But then we learned, and we like it better, is we don't do cut and paste. I'll play the whole rhythm on the electric, and then my drummer John will go, all right, we got to double it. So we don't just cut and paste it. I got to replay the whole thing. So you'll see different strokes sometimes. And so, but it really sounds good on headsets. So now, is that how you started on the first album? Just single recording, and then you started doubling them? Like we did?
It's funny. I always did. We're going to the very first album. We had the drums done, and to a click track. So when I would listen, I would do one whole guitar track. If I flubbed, I would say, okay, punch in, and I'd get the whole thing done.
Right. Yep.
That's panned left. That's panned right. Now I say arm another track and pan it left, and then I do the same thing. So now I'm playing in my left ear, listening to the guitar in the right ear, and just trying to double it to get this fat sound.
I got to shut the one off. It bugs me.
That's so funny, man. That's so funny you said that, because our old guitar player back in the second album, he said, I get so distracted if I hear that other guitar.
Yep.
I need to hear that other guitar because I want to get it very close to that other guitar. So it's just,
that makes sense.
Yeah. And one thing I do, I mix open chords with palm mute chunks, and sometimes both going together.
Oh, so another layer.
Yeah. So it's funny. It's like, but there'll be 2 tracks. So I'm singing and I'm trying to alternate the palm mutes with the chords, because I don't know why I write myself in this corner like that, but I do. So I have to listen to this guitar so that I can get it as close as possible. And then, and I'm sure you do this too, then I obsess over it. I listen to it a million times, and then that one chord bugs me right here. And I say, you know what? I only hit 2 strings when it should have been 4 strings on that chord. I have to punch that in.
Yeah, my drummer John keeps me honest also, because I'll miss something and he'll go, "We got to redo that," and I'm like, "Why? It sounded great."
A buddy of mine was telling me, and I don't know how accurate this quote is. So I think it was George Lucas, but I'm not sure.
You're being recorded.
You said you never really finish a project. You just abandon it after a while, after too much time. You just
We had another guest say that. Remember, Paul?
Yeah, you're not the first that said that on our show.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, and it's absolutely right. Yep. I mean, you could obsess and obsess and obsess. I'm like, okay, if you keep obsessing, it's going to sound too robotic. You've got to let the human factor come in there a little bit. Yep. Yeah.
Now we did some guitar parts. People probably think I'm like awesome, but we added layers. And I was like, John, what if we do this those pinch harmonics? Ping, ping, ping. I'm like, that would be perfect right here. And I forget what song, but it is. But there's no way I could play all those parts at one time.
Yeah, that's funny you say that. My Jeffrey Wilson, our guitar player. See, I do the rhythm guitar on the recording because I'm doing vocals, and sometimes guitar needs to change. And sometimes I'll get into it. It's like, oh, we've got to shorten this piece and we've got to extend this piece. So I'll have to edit things. I need to be able to move both of those pieces around so that I can get them right here together. But our guitar player, Jeffrey Wilson, he, in his off time to keep his chops up, he does an Ozzy tribute where he's playing Randy and Zach and everything.
Oh, wow.
So he's doing so, all the pinch harmonics, and that's just you reminded me of, but I've never been able to do those pinch harmonics. They just sound horrible. So I said, okay, just let it go.
I learned how to do it.
Jeff, if you want to do them live, go for it, man.
You know what Rex Carroll said one time in an interview, not our interview. Maybe he did say it, but anyway, he said that those are hard to do, and sometimes live he'll miss them.
Yeah,
you got to hit it just right, because I don't know people that don't play guitar. You got to put your finger barely on the string and hit your pick or your finger, and you got to barely touch that string to get that. And if you miss it, it's too late. You got to keep going.
You're right. And I look at Zach Wild live. He's swinging his hair back and forth. And I'm like,
how do you do that?
Good for you, man.
I feel bad for Paul right now because you and I are just getting on this conversation. So
shut up, please. We'll just keep going.
No, I don't mind at all. I do have a question going back to the story, because I'm an ordained minister. Bryan's the musician, so together, we make a good blend.
I'm ordained too.
Oh, yeah, that's right, you are.
Right on, yeah.
And so you talked about in '97 when you were in the hospital and you heard the voice of God.
Yes.
And you were in the middle of that addiction. What was your relationship or juxtaposition to God going into the hospital?
Okay. I'm going to take you back. When I was first grade, second grade, I was raised in a Lutheran church. And but I actually, every Sunday, my mom and I would go to this Lutheran church. She would go to church and I would go to Sunday school. And sometimes Sunday school would take us over to sit in the church service. And it was okay for a little bit, but I couldn't tell you when or how it started, but I kind of felt like the wrath of judgment was coming on me, like the as I call the hypocristians, the ones who are just pointing their fingers saying, you do this and you're going to go to a bad place if you don't, you better believe this, or you're going to burn in hell and all this stuff. And I thought,
you can't have a tattoo, you're going to hell.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And the extreme legalism and taking the scripture out of context. That's what I'll say. Yep. And so in the modern day Pharisees. So
that's what I always say.
All I knew was they were scaring me, and it kind of ran the other way. And I don't know why. And I said, Mom, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back. And it wasn't the church, but it was somebody somewhere. I mean, I know where it was. It was him. He did not want me to have a relationship with the Lord. He wanted to distract me. And when he pushed me and I'm a kid, I don't know any different. When he kind of pushed me the other way, well, that was easy, Then I started listening to really I was listening to like Venom, Merciful Fate, Slayer. Well, nothing bad about Slayer specifically, but evil metal, really dark metal. And I was never in a bad place, but, next thing I know, late high school, early college, partying was right out of the gate. It's like, oh, this is amazing. I wish I could do this all the time. Then I kept doing it, and it got past partying, and it became I've got to do it to cover up things. And so, long story short, when I was away from the church or away from a relationship with Christ, things got bad, and things bad led to worse. And then, but always back here, I knew I knew who was in charge. Even though I was medicated all the time and not doing the right thing, what was instilled in me when I was a small child stayed there. Jesus Christ is the Son of God, and God is the Creator. And when we die, we go to heaven. That's what was told to me. I didn't know any differently. Thought everybody did, or thought as long as you're a good person, you know how that goes. I learned a lot since then. So I always knew, and I kind of felt that this alcoholism thing was going to come to a head. I would wake up every morning. If I didn't have a drink, I couldn't really function throughout the day. And sometimes I needed to have one, in midday. But there's only so much you can stand before you are literally like, enough is enough. Today I'm waving the white flag. That day I didn't drink in the morning, so I'm shaking going to work. And I'm driving, and I prayed for the first time in a very long time. And I remember I said, Lord, I need you. I said, I am so sorry I put you last. I should have put you first. But I've been away, and, I haven't prayed in so long. But if you exist, I'm waving the white flag now. I need you. Either get this junk out of me or take me home today. And that's it. And you guys know that when it comes down to it, and you are at the very bottom, and you have surrendered, and it's not going to happen one more day, he listens. And that without fail, anytime I've had to do that in my life, that was the day that he scooped me up and said, I got you. Yeah. He's our dad. He loves us.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's not going to let us go. And a friend of mine said it best, which kind of came into a song that's going to be on this next album. I was walking around my neighborhood. There's this park right next to my neighborhood, and I see a friend of mine who is a brother in Christ, and he walks his dog, and his little girl's walking with them, and we're talking about stuff, and I needed something, and he said, listen, he goes, okay, see my little girl over there? She's 3. If she's playing and she falls and she hits her head or she skins her knee or something, and if she just starts yelling and crying, what am I going to do as her dad? I'm going to run to her. I'm going to pick her up and say, I've got you.
Yep.
When you are in a place like that and you cry out, what do you think he's going to do? He's going to run to you.
Absolutely.
He's going to run to you. He's going to be there. And that's exactly what he did. And I'm glad he tapped me to say, get yourself to the emergency room, because it's not going to be good. And that's
What's
exactly
the name of the song?
After the Stars Have Fallen.
Okay. Because I was thinking I'm writing a song called Run to You now.
Yeah, the song lyrically, I got really inspired. It's kind of like, exactly what I told you. And then he says, okay, now when your child falls, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to run to them the same way you did to me, and I came to you. That's essentially, I'm going to be your soldier every day of your life, even after the stars have fallen. So that's kind of the gist of it. But that's what happened that day. And I knew who it was who spoke to me in that hospital bed. And that was it. Life kind of went like that right on that day. And I think is I never went to AA. I never took another drink. He told me he's taken the addiction away, and he took the addiction away. I didn't have to sit there and detox for days, weeks. I never went to AA. I'm kind of glad I didn't, but I never am going to knock AA, because AA has helped people get sober. Yep. But my problem with AA is their talk of a generic God They talk about a higher power, a God, and we
Yeah.
need 90 meetings in 90 days. All we're doing is relying on our own. Uh, and no, that's not what we want to do. On our own understanding, we want to rely on His understanding. I didn't need that. He told me He was going to take it away, and He did. And I know who it was. And it's just like, again, but like I said, I don't knock AA, but I don't have a higher power. It's Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It's that simple. And like I was talking to a friend of mine, and he said, you need to be very specific anytime you say who it is. When you talk about God, you say it's the Lord Jesus Christ of Nazareth, Yeshua HaMashiach. I mean, pagans have gods.
Yep.
Everybody, there are a lot of gods. There's only one Jesus Christ. And so I try to be specific about that.
Well, you have to. Have you seen that movie, Time Changer?
No.
Oh, is that the one with Gavin McLeod?
I don't know the names of the actors, but the one guy's from The Love Boat.
Love Boat, yeah, Gavin McLeod, yeah. Excellent movie.
Because the base of that movie is what you just said. They're trying to tell a girl that she shouldn't steal something. Well, you should tell that girl that Jesus said that you're not supposed. Oh, no, just tell them the moral standing. But no, because like you said, if you would have gone out of your alcoholism without God, all you are is still a sinner that doesn't drink.
Exactly. Yep.
Now you're a sinner that's been saved by grace and you don't drink. And now you're proclaiming that truth. And there's a huge difference. That you got to watch that movie.
Yeah. What's it called again?
Time Changer.
Okay.
It's older, but it's still good. And I'm going to dig it out. I just moved, so I got to dig all my DVDs out of boxes and stuff.
Well,
I had that one on VHS.
What?
I had that on VHS way back in the day.
Oh, really? I've always had it on DVD, so that's good. What were you going to say, Gordon?
I was going to say, kind of going back to what you're saying, I'm glad you said that, because I thought it prompted me about something else. Not only alcoholism, but I dealt with a lot of other stuff. I dealt with borderline OCD. I had to do things in certain patterns, a certain amount of times, or something not good would happen. It got to the point where I'd have to, like in and out of a doorway a couple times, or if I didn't behave. Yeah, it was crazy. And I dealt with a little bit of, borderline rage. I got into some states of borderline depression. I've been in, all over the map. All of those things were gone once I gave them to Him.
Yep.
The OCD thing was gone. The rage, the depression. It's not like I won't just say, Christ just cured me of alcoholism. He cured me of all the garbage that I was. It's kind of like you just wipe down your Jeep with that white rag after you just tore through the mud. And then I was that rag when you just got done wiping, and He just kind of, and did this. And so all that garbage that was in there left. And I could say, He has brought me 1000% peace. And I tell people, and I've said this in other podcasts and other interviews, I'm not the guy that's going to shove Jesus down your throat. I had that done to me, and it ran me in the other way. You want to do that? You're going to send the person into the arms of their local atheist. The nearest local atheist will say, those Christians are crazy. You don't have to worry about them.
Exactly.
I said, but if you understand the person and understand what they're going through, and you ask the Holy Spirit for the words to say, He's going to give you the tailored words to say, and you're going to know instinctually, and your discernment is going to think, okay, I understand what this person needs. I'm not going to say, where are you at with Jesus? I'm going to say, I know where you are right now, and I was there. I was there and worse, but I'm not now. Where I am now is in the best possible place. And, very quickly paraphrased, well, how do you get there? Okay, this is how I get there. And that's kind of our lyrics. We aren't a preachy band. We actually, our lyrics, we target the secular audience. Our lyrics are written for the secular audience, because basically every member of this band has suffered something, whether it's addiction, mental illness, abuse, PTSD. It's all in there. And we've all been cured of it. And what we say, we go and we kind of explain, this is what happened to us. These are our stories. This is what we went through. This is what we overcame. But the common denominator of how we got through it.
Yep.
And that's what we say live too. It's just like, I know there's somebody here in this audience that is a survivor of something, cancer, PTSD, abuse, addiction, and then arms go up. And I know the guard's down.
Yep.
So I know I can speak to them as, person who understands them, and they're going to let in whatever I give them. And then we just surge that room with the Holy Spirit and melt their faces off.
And that's the problem with a lot of the American churches nowadays. They're inside the four walls, dressed all prim and proper, and most of the parishioners don't understand the suffering in a biblical way, and they can't relate. Like, oh, that person with tattoos can't come in here. That alcoholic can't come in here. They become those Pharisees, like you said earlier.
Yeah.
Where I've been through a whole bunch of stuff in the last 5, almost 6 years, and I'm going to be able to relate with certain people that I couldn't have before I went through all these trials, just like you were saying. So now, like you said, the guard is going down, and now you've got the opportunity to go in. And if you're submitted to God, like you said earlier, God will give you the words, like he did Paul in the Bible, to speak what he needs to speak and not have to fear.
Exactly. And you're exactly right. And interesting thing that we do too. In 2015, when I started, started really digging into the lyrics to our album Soul Rise. What I felt very clearly was, write the words from my point of view.
Yep.
And write the lyrics from my point of view, and I'll give you the words to say. So I did that. And then everything at that point started coming out as a conversation. If you go to our website and you look at the lyrics, I don't tell you what's going on, but you see red lyrics, then you'll see white lyrics, red lyrics, white lyrics.
Oh, wow.
And, I don't have to tell you what that is. It's as if, but I will. It's as if you're sitting across the table having coffee with God, and you're asking him things that you want to know about, or you're saying to him, why is this the way this is? Help me with this. And then he replies. And some songs are all red. Some songs are mostly white. It's like prayer. There's a time to pray, and there's a time to stay silent and listen. And I learned stuff from these lyrics. So I know they weren't coming from me. And I remember this one verse from a song called Only Human.
I got a song like that.
I can't remember it. I can only sing it, and I haven't sung it in a while. I can't remember the actual lyrics. I know, but I haven't done it in a while. It says something like, I will let you fall so I can mend and rebuild you. And when you fail, I retest you, then progress you. And then I remember reading those lyrics back one day. I said, oh, now I get it. If I fail, he's going to put me through it again until I pass. So
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, I like I said it. Told you, Paul.
Oh, I love it, man. I love it. So, one of the things that it's so unique to our faith that no other religious group can say is we have a living Savior. We have the Lord Jesus Christ, who lived as us.
Yep.
And suffered as us through a lot of things that we've gone through and suffered through. So we have a Savior that understands us and what we're feeling and what we're going through. But then on the other side of that, like you went through your experience, and Bryan, you're going through your thing, and I've gone through things in my own life, and all of us go through stuff, and then God takes that and he uses us to minister to people that we probably wouldn't have been able to relate to otherwise.
Oh, guaranteed.
And so not only do we have that Savior that understands us, he provides us and others to us and others to others that also understand. And so what you were saying about, I've been through this, I understand what you're going through. That is so gold. That is so awesome. Beyond just whipping out a Bible and quoting verses to somebody that's struggling.
Yep.
Yeah. Which is good. I mean, the word doesn't return void. But
Exactly.
putting that personal touch to it is just fantastic.
Funny you
So
say that. Yeah, we were touring. We went on tour for our EP, Weathered and Torn. We were with Michael Schenker, and there's a song off of that EP called "The Dead Me," and I'm sure you can probably figure out what that's about. It's just like all the person who was with this addict, this person, all this and that. That's the dead me. I killed that person off 27 years ago. And that's kind of where I would start the talk. I said, "Are there any survivors in the audience?" Yada yada yada. And I say, "This is where I came from." And I just quickly told the story I told you guys and said, "And this is about that person that I killed off on that day." This song's called "The Dead Me." Now they're yeah, like you said. Then people come. It's funny because after each show, I grab my stuff and I purposely walk through the crowd to get to the merch booth. And I just kind of feel out where I'm supposed to go. And I'll stop and talk to people. And I can't even tell you how many times somebody came up to us at the merch booth and said, "You have no idea how much I needed to hear that right now. I'm dealing with XYZ right now, and I don't know what to do." And that XYZ could be anything, but they were compelled to come and talk to us. And it has not been it's not been unusual that we would get somebody's information and talk to them one-on-one later. Right. I mean, we are put there to make a change. We're put there to melt your faces off, but we're put there to make a change. And when we encounter somebody who really, really needs something and they come up to us, we have a responsibility now. Yep. And I feel like, when I went through what I went through, I couldn't confide anybody. All I got was judgment. "You mean you did what? Oh, no." But after I got clean, I remember saying, I didn't have anybody I could confide in. If I ever come across anybody who needs somebody to confide in, I want to be there. And I have. And yeah, that's all I want. I want to pay it forward. That's part of my morning routine. I say, put me in front of somebody who needs what I've got, give me the words to say, and put somebody in front of me who has what I need. Give them the words to say.
What you're saying, dude, is, I know that music was probably initially created by God to worship him.
Yeah.
But when we witness with our music, we're worshiping him. So basically, it's basically worship. But isn't music awesome because it's universal?
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of people that, let's just say German, and they don't speak much English, but they can sing all of your songs maybe.
Yeah. That's funny you say that, man.
Yeah.
I got to tell you a quick story about that you said on music. I didn't mean to cut you off, man, but
no, you're good.
In 2008 through 2011, I actually recorded with I would call them thrash or metalcore, I don't know what you want to, band in Guatemala, and I went there several times to record. The drummer was insane, phenomenal, but he could barely speak English at all. A couple of keywords, that's it. And I can't speak Spanish. But when he was playing drums and I was on the mic, we're looking at each other like there is this utmost, just intense respect. And we can't even speak the same language.
Right.
And but man, we're on the same page when we get, going.
And that's on purpose.
Your point.
That's on purpose by God. I don't believe that he's sovereign. I don't believe there's any accidents. So even our pain and suffering that we're talking about, all three of us, that we go through, there's a purpose in it. And God takes the bad stuff that we call bad, and he turns it up for good. And he really does. I mean, my situation, a couple of our albums shouldn't even have happened, but they did. Yeah. And that's God. So he's so good.
You're absolutely right, man. And I had a thought, but it left me. But I agree, man. It's just the music was always something that I had, regardless of how everything else in my life was.
Yep.
If it was bad, I had music. If it was good, it inspired music. Yep. But when it comes to the negative things, this took me a long time in life to learn when it comes to the trials and tribulations. we should be thanking God for our trials and tribulations, because if I hadn't have gone through what I went through with alcoholism, I would not be as strong as I am today. I would not be as resilient. I would not be as able to lift other people up who are in the quicksand, and it made me just realize that there's so many things that are not worth worrying over. I'm on bonus time. I shouldn't really technically be here right now, but I am. And so whatever your trial and tribulation was, that was done for you. And I believe it's in James when he says, rejoice in your trials and tribulations.
Yep. Isn't that hard to do though? Because we want to.
It took a while. It took a while, but you know what solidified it, man? You know what solidified it was Romans 8:28. Because I'm thinking, okay, these trials and tribulations, how can I be thankful for them? Well, all things work together in the manner of good for those who know and love God and are called according to his purpose. So the second I gave my life to Christ, everything is going to work in my favor. Anything that I would consider bad is pruning, is refining.
Isn't that encouraging?
Yeah, it is. And I just recently, I'm talking like the last 6 months, was able to fully grab onto that. So when something bad's happening, I just say, okay, keep cool, because this is happening for me. I might not know why now, but just understand.
I had a pastor tell me, and it's one of the best things that he ever told me before I ended up leaving that church to go to another one. He goes, Bryan, you react too much. You need to respond. Because when you respond, it means that you thought about it before you spoke.
You're exactly right. Yep.
So you need to respond instead of react. And that pops in my head, right? And as soon as that flame in the back of the mind starts going,
we want to do it. I know. Hit
those comments real quick, Paul, because we got a couple people that said some good things.
Okay. So Pat was responding to what you were sharing earlier, and he said, great testimony.
Yep.
Thank you, Pat.
And he also says, don't we all need our faces melted? So,
Every day we do.
Some more than others. Just kidding.
Ray, what's up,
Ray's with us. Hey, Ray.
We were just talking about you earlier, man. Good to see you, man.
Is it wrong for him to be on our podcast?
Is it wrong, Ray? Is it
not?
I don't know if we ever figured that out.
It is not.
Good to see you, Ray. Thanks for chiming in, man. Love and respect to you, brother.
Yeah, a lot of love for Ray. So, the new album's coming out. You said early next year, or sometime.
It's hard to say.
Sometime next year, and you kind of alluded to something. Is that something you want to talk about, share about, get prayer for, or is that something for not consumption?
What's that? I'm sorry.
You mentioned earlier that you weren't able to lay the vocals down.
I've got something that I got a procedure happening in December, so it's going to take me out for a couple of weeks. So, not really ready to get into that. Just kind of found out about it recently, but it's just something that has got to happen, and just need to wait until I heal, and then I'm just going to mash the gas pedal to the ground. But yeah, prayers will all be welcome. As many as you want to give, because it's a little something I am kind of dealing with, but yeah, when it's done, we're gonna, as soon as it's done, we're gonna start talking about when can we get it released. And like I said before, I don't know if I said this before we went on the air or not, but our label Pavement, when we're ready, they have to reach out to the distributor Sony and see when Sony can actually release the album. They'll give us a list of a couple dates, and then we'll just have to pick the date and do it that way. So it's like, from the point of getting finished the album to the release date, it could be a matter of months, just because of logistics and whatnot.
And is there any tour dates planned for the future yet? Do you have any shows that are scheduled?
Nothing yet. We were toying with 2 festivals in Europe that we could have grabbed, but it wasn't really going to work out logistically. And so yeah, we're right now, the only thing that's certain is we are hitting this next album as hard as we can until it's done. Then once we're done, the next step is shoot a video, get the release date, and then hopefully hit the road. So that's what we're gonna do.
Where do you generally play? Like what type of venues?
Oh, it's hard to say. We've toured the U.S. 3 times. One time was on our Soul Rise album, Metal Church and Doro Pesh. That was generally a club, a club tour. We toured our Angel Born album with Yngwie Malmsteen, and that was kind of a theater tour, sometimes bigger. And then we toured with Michael Schenker and Eric Martin of Mr. Big for our Weathered and Torn tour. That was sort of about the same size venue as Yngwie. We went to Europe with Wasp. Didn't work out too well, but we played 3 shows, packed houses in Norway and Sweden. But last year we went to Europe with Soil, and I'd say it was like nice size club size venues, nice packed house. So I guess it kind of varies.
Okay.
So when you guys were traveling with Wasp, was that before or after Blackie Lawless kind of had his return to?
That was in 2022. So I could tell you a lot about that, but I need to watch my words carefully.
Yeah, I think that's about the time that he went back to singing a song he swore he'd never sing again. So
yep. That's
Yeah,
exactly it. I'm not going to make any representations or give my opinion because I'm not one to judge.
yeah.
But you can't
I'll
serve 2
say it.
masters.
I was disappointed. that came back into play, but especially after much pronouncement of other things. So
Exactly.
I'll say it for you, and you're clear.
Thank you.
Trying to get the vibe.
They were watching us for a little while. We had a little bit of it got legal, and then we were kind of, long story short, a couple comments were made, and they saw them, and they were calling a couple comments out. So they were just watching. So
Okay.
I'm very careful just because I don't have time for lawyers.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I doubt very seriously Blackie Lawless will see this show.
If he does, well then great.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
all
hear
of a
you.
sudden Gordon's getting taken out of his house by cops and the Full Metal Gear.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it's all good.
So we got about 3 minutes left. Where can we get your music if I want to go out and buy some CDs, some merch, T-shirt, whatever? Where
Absolutely. Imagesofeden.com. That's our one-stop shop. The site is in the middle of getting a full reconstruction and facelift and everything, but we're going to keep this up until that launches. So go to our website and you'll see a link for an online store, and that'll take you to everything. It's sort of our one-stop shop. You've got our history, band member information, tour information, reviews, lyrics, the whole 9 yards. But our online store will take you. It'll take you to our online store. Then pretty much name it. It's there.
Okay.
The only thing that we can't sell on our store are the Pavement issued albums, which are Soul Rise, Angel Born, and Weathered and Torn. But we do have vinyl for Soul Rise and Angel Born that we can sell. So, but yeah, that's exactly where you would want to go. And obviously, social media. Hit up the Images of Eden page or any one of us individually. We'd love to hear from you.
You can't sell them, but can you tell the people where to find those albums?
Actually, the LPs we can sell, but pretty much anything is on Amazon. Anything's on iTunes. Yeah.
Okay.
Any of the major distributors, whether it's retail or digital, you can. Yeah, we're there. You can find us.
And if it's on Amazon, you're still getting royalties from the sales?
Yep, we do.
All right, so don't run to eBay. Save that for the out-of-print stuff that nobody can get on Amazon or from the bands.
Support the bands, we always say.
Support the bands. So
exactly. Kind of fun. I was on eBay. Somebody said, "Oh, one of your picks are on sale for eBay for $5." I said, "Oh yeah, let me see what tour that was." So you could find some funny stuff if you look for it.
Somebody's selling. I wrote a book, a little novella about, or a little short story book about addiction and overcoming addiction, that I give away free at outreach events whenever we do outreach stuff. And somebody has it for sale on eBay for like $16. and you can get it on Amazon for like $3, or you can get it from me for free. And this dude's selling it for $16, and I'm like, good luck, man.
We've seen our vinyl was being sold for much more than what we have sold, or what we sell it for. And I thought, wow, maybe we should jack our price up a little bit if you're going to get it used.
There's always going to be somebody that's trying to make something off of something.
Yeah, it's all good. Hey, if somebody's talking about it and we miss out on a royalty, but the message reaches somebody,
exactly,
that's better.
That's the main thing.
I don't know about you, but we've spent more money than we've made. So, but that's what it's about, ministry. So
I'm not going to talk about that. I'll take that to my grave, man.
Every musician's thinking, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly. You know, it's funny. I'm just glad that people don't see how the sausage is made sometimes.
Yep.
Well, listen, man, I want to thank you guys for having me very, very much, man. It was nice to meet you guys.
It was good.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
This was great. Any parting words? We've hit the end of our hour.
Yeah.
Anything you want to just say to everyone?
I do. Go to our website. Everything's there, or go to Amazon if you can't find something. And if you're on the fence, I don't care who you are. If you give Christ a chance, give him a chance. You've got nothing to lose. And I trust you're going to get something out of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if you need prayer, or if you need someone to talk to, we're all on social media and we're all very accessible. So
absolutely. I'll stop what I'm doing if somebody's serious and they're